3, 2, 1.
These kids. All right, there's like kids in the hallway of my.
Okay, one more. Here we go. How's it going, everybody? God damn it, Max. Shut up for 2 seconds while I do the intro. 2 seconds. Okay. How's it going, everybody? This is Stephen Anthony Lawrence, Max Rice with Max and Rice. Beans and Rice. God damn it. What's the name of the... I can't even say the name of the show. Now you're... Okay, here we go. Spit it out, Steve. Okay. How's it going, everybody? This is Stephen Anthony Lawrence with Max Rice. We got a special guest, Saira Blair, in the house. This is Rice and Beans.
Birthday, Sarah. You got a birthday as well.
Yeah, so. I am so excited. Thank you for having me on, guys.
Of course, pleasure's all us.
So you're actually the second 18-year-old to be elected to office to be on the Rice and Beans show.
Yeah, and you are the youngest elected politician in history, correct? Did I do my research right?
So they say. Yeah, so they say. So.
Holy cow. Holy cow, that's awesome. So, obviously, number one topic we got to discuss. Please tell us, bipartisanly, we're not going to probably agree on a lot, but why is it important for young people to get out and vote?
Yeah, definitely. And to start, I think the bipartisan thing is awesome to talk about first. I ran on a more conservative platform. I'm from West Virginia, so people in general tend to be more conservative in this state, but I just spent 2 years living in Philly, so I went complete polar opposite there, but I definitely have a lot of friends and family who we all disagree on. And at the end of the day, though, it's always still, you have to vote. So it's so important. It's important to have representation. It's important to have the people that you trust representing you. And there's only one way you can do that, and it's if you vote. And it's also super important to just get involved in general. And like that doesn't start, in my opinion, with like campaigning or things like that, but more community events. And so I really try to get people to get more involved in their community. And I think when you do that, you naturally want to get more involved in politics because you see what's happening.
Absolutely.
There's usually like food and like drinks and stuff at these like events and stuff.
I totally agree, because, you know, if we all look at this stuff on just such a global scale, it's almost too much, right? You know, I don't know what the heck I can do globally or even nationwide, right? But man, if I could do something in my own backyard that helps, that's tangible, man, that's where it all starts, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I'm militant because Sarah, my like whole project, and I've been getting kicked out of every political event for saying this, is because and let's get kicked off YouTube right now. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, not the first time.
Like most elections don't have two people running. Like you had a competitor, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think like 80% of the time it's just one person unopposed, no checks whatsoever.
Yeah.
And so I think that is textbook fascism, authoritarianism.
Yeah.
So like, what the heck is going on? Thanks for running. And it's possible.
Yeah. And
I ran for Congress. I lost, but I ran for Congress.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And it's, people don't realize that it's possible, like to do the small things and the big things.
Yeah, absolutely. And I couldn't agree more. Like, I love healthy competition. I actually ran against the incumbent. So I ran against the Republican who'd been sitting in the seat for 4 years. So I didn't really get a lot of like party support from it either, because that's pretty typical. Like once someone's there, they don't want them out. Like even your own party, like they stay out of these primary races. And so like I had more of an uphill battle against my own party than I did against the Democrat in the general election. But I think that's great. And like, I was always welcome to have it.
I don't think it's great.
You did it though. No, I think it's great that you killed the incumbent. Like,
I think it's great you killed the incumbent, but man, even as a Democrat, I'm sick and tired of Nancy Pelosi. I'm sick and tired of Chuck Schumer. You know, here's the thing, man. The times, they are a-changing.
Yeah.
Maybe it's time to get some fresh ideas in there. Even me speaking, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you don't like it. You think all the laws are a little bit old school. Well, that's because what is the median age of someone in politics right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's crazy because a lot of the like bipartisan, like let's just do it ideas just always get shut down.
Yeah.
Because like the hack Republicans and hack Democrats are in office.
Yeah.
Like,
Sarah,
I went through your Ballotpedia because you have to with elected officials, and there were a lot of no-brainer bills that you sponsored that just failed.
Yeah.
So I think you tried to outlaw gay conversion therapy, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
You tried to outlaw that, but that didn't go through.
No.
You think Republicans and Democrats would be on that?
Yeah. I mean, there's so many. I mean, like there's even ones that are so ridiculously common sense. Like one we did was CPR in schools, which is funny because I was just reading about this earlier today. A guy that I follow on Instagram was talking about how his wife had saved his baby because she got CPR certified and like free cardiac arrest, but like it came in handy. So like that's one of those things where we really want to implement it in school so people have it. We took years to get that legislation through to CPR certify kids. And I'm just like, what could possibly be the downside of people being more educated and able to help their fellow neighbor?
Yeah, as a former caregiver myself, I really appreciate that, and you're absolutely right about that. I do have a gay friend actually that actually went through conversion therapy. So, that's my one big issue. I don't get how a conservative or a Republican can say save the children in one breath and in the same breath go hook a car battery up to their testicles to change their sexuality.
But Steven, like I heard this literally yesterday. I heard this, and I've heard this all the time, where a lot of people would be like, even guys would be like, I don't understand how a woman could vote for Trump or how a woman could be a Republican. But we have someone on this show that tried to outlaw conversion therapy.
So and that's my point, though. We got to give credit where credit's due. That's my point.
We got to get rid of the animosity and stop.
That is, you do. I mean, man, look at Rand Paul, even for instance. Obviously, there's a lot that Rand Paul and I don't agree on. But hey, another bill you sponsored was second chances for felons, right?
Yeah.
And lowering prescription drug costs.
Lowering prescription drug costs. I really believe there's a lot more we do agree on than not.
Yeah. They're just not the hot topic ones, though. That's the thing. Like those ones get pushed aside. One of the ones too is called ban the box, so that it doesn't say, if you are a felon on the thing, you don't have to mark that banning the box. And that's like a super controversial thing. And it's just like, really, like you can't even get through the job interview first. So
how in one breath can you say we got to like give people second chances, and the second breath like just kill hundreds of bills like that?
Yeah.
It's totally disheartening because even, during the last election cycle, the people of Florida, they voted to restore the voting rights of all these felons. And then a federal judge just says, to hell with the will of the people, no.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But a lot of crazy stuff going on in the news. Like Haiti might not have a country right now. Like, why aren't we talking about that just like nationally? Like, what the hell? Like, they literally have a situation where they assassinated one president who wasn't really president. And now you have like a senator and another guy, just like both president at the same time.
Yeah, fighting for it. Yeah, it's crazy.
And then a third guy that probably killed the president because he like bought a lobbyist like 3 days prior to the assassination. And he's just like clearly calling the shots.
I'm going to be honest. I feel bad about buying that voodoo doll from New Orleans last time I was out there. This might have something to do with it. I'm not going to come out and take responsibility just yet, but I don't know.
All your fault.
That might be another internet conspiracy theory that I'm inventing right now, but it could be. It could happen. I'm going to see somebody. That's going to be the next QAnon thread. Beans's voodoo doll. The Haitian president getting assassinated. Are they connected? Only tomorrow we'll find out. Like and subscribe for more.
I was reading that there was a connection between a few Disney stars. And
I'm sure.
Sean Penn, actually one of the guys that was arrested was Sean Penn's bodyguard. Did you ever do a Sean Penn movie? You might have had a cameo in.
Oh no! But if we're gonna play the degrees of the degrees of bacon.
Kevin Bacon.
I worked with Dakota on a cat Matt, and then she worked with him on I Am Sam. So I mean, maybe we could draw. I'm doing the homework for these people on the internet right now. Damn it.
Yeah, that's my favorite part of this show is that I'm like I think a 3 degree because of you.
I don't, dude. I'm literally giving these people these things. Also, be sure to check out Saira Blair and Forbes 30 Under 30 and Law and Policy, 17 Magazine, 17 Power Teams. Also, you just got a new job now working for the deputy treasurer for the state to facilitate progress. So Tell me about that. What does that all entail? And not legalese mumbo jumbo, just plain speak.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm really excited. It's definitely a big honor. The treasurer appointed me to this position on Tuesday. So I just completed my first week. I've been living in Philly, working at a nonprofit there for 2 years and doing some other things. But I came back to West Virginia for it, which I'm really excited. One of my biggest things when I was running was about how we're one of the only states with a declining population. Like, it's bad. Like, nobody stays here. And
That's not true. Chicago, like Illinois, we've been declining for like a decade. But yeah, no, I'm glad to hear that people hate your state too. But you guys have bad weather.
we had
and like a heroin problem. But
we had a higher population in 1950 than we do right now.
wow, that's nuts. I was talking about the last 10 years. Maybe you guys have us beat, because yeah.
Oh no, that kind of makes that kind of makes sense though, because I mean, think about in the 50s, it used to be a lot cheaper to have nine kids than it is now.
Yeah,
but there was less people. I think populations tripled nationally since 1950.
Yeah, we just we can't bring people into the state, and so they come, they get their college education, normally at WVU, which is sitting right next to right now, and then they leave the state. And so I was trying to do things that would keep people in the state. Wasn't as successful as I'd hoped on some of those things, and I ended up taking a job and leaving. And so I'm really excited to be back, though. Like,
what would you do to keep people in the state? Like
there's
barbecues, like free, because like right now with the COVID vaccine, they're giving out cigarettes and Krispy Kremes. But like, yeah, like how, because Illinois is struggling with that right now. So how do you theoretically keep someone in a state?
Yeah, I mean, everybody's got a different opinion on that. I personally, and this is probably controversial, I don't believe in like state income. Like,
Let's go.
Like, let's eliminate.
Abolish the IRS.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
But I actually have a ton of friends who like are all moving to Florida, and one of the things they say is because they don't pay income tax. I mean, also the warm weather, but I mean, yeah, not for me. But I'm just like, things like that. Restructuring. We have this thing called the Promise Scholarship. So if you get a 3.0 in high school and like basic minimums on your ACT or SAT, then the state will pay for your college education in state. So it's really awesome, but we don't require any like staying to work or anything along those lines. So some type of restructuring or something along those lines, or just opportunities. I mean, we just don't have a lot. West Virginia is known as being like a very coal heavy state. Obviously coal's declining, and we never diversified. And that's a huge failure of 50 years back that we're struggling with now, and just doing things to try to help the economy here.
Well, in a way though, like, you're dealing with, coal problems. California, hey, I'm as pro green energy as you can get. But at the same time, we got to look at reality, right? Yeah. California is a desert. It's a desert with a really good irrigation system. Right now, Hoover Dam is only doing 60% hydroelectric, which they're doing. Another plant is totally shut down. Maybe relying on hydroelectric electricity in a desert is not a good idea.
I'm very confident that people living in California are going to wake up and realize that like a lot of renewables are very cool, but you can't like have everything run on it. And when you guys like start eating each other because you don't like actually grow your own food, or like, start like killing each other with like, utensils because you don't have guns or anything like that, you're going to be pro coal and you're going to be pro natural gas and fossil fuel.
Well,
it's natural. It's natural.
I think there's I think there's a happy medium there. I truly believe there is.
Yeah, honestly, you got to like work with what you have, in my opinion. Yeah. You got to use the land.
And it has to be diversified. Like, you need to have options. Like, you can't, like, there is no one way. And that's the thing, like, relying too heavily in the past. If we'd started with these alternatives long ago, they would be at a better place right now. But it's because there isn't enough concern for ensuring we've got a lot of different options.
100%. An electric mix should be like have a healthy mix, because you never know what happens. But your base load needs to be covered by reliable energy. You can't have 50% of your power based on like how much winds we get the next year. Or like, oh, we're gonna have a bunch of rain this year. That hydroelectric's gonna work. Like that.
Yeah.
No.
Although
It's great though because it adds on. It's supplement power.
I mean, yeah, you might want to share
But
your
Cole,
biases.
I feel your
Don't
pain
you-
there because West Virginia's ground zero.
Although
It's
Max,
sorry, my bad.
we gotta be honest though. Don't you cash checks from a nuclear corporation? Don't you work in nuclear energy, Max? So we got.
No, I work in electricity, so I work all the entire.
Okay, so I'm just saying we gotta get our biases out there. I mean, let's be a little transparent here.
Yeah, my bias is green. My bias is for sure renewable. But like,
So-
you got to. It's a math and science problem, and we're talking about it on a political level, and it's just stupid.
It is very true. So one thing I do want to kind of circle back on, you made a really good point about kind of taxes and the IRS and corporations and everything, and that's really one thing I strongly believe that we are leaving on the table here. The original Tea Party Republicans, their main thing was taxation without representation. Okay. A lot of the, new age millennials, they kind of looked around and say, well, hey, wait a minute. Maybe it's not fair that, these Fortune 500 companies, 10 of them of the top 100 are paying literally zero in income taxes. I mean, I really think it's close to the same argument. And again, there's probably more than we agree upon than not there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I also find it really interesting that like the richest people in the world and top corporations happen to be donors to the Democratic Party. Like, what's up with that?
Donald Trump. I was actually reading
the Trump
that
Corporation isn't a top 10. It's not Facebook. It's not Google.
I'm just saying they always Trump organization used to always donate to the DNC back when I was a fundraiser.
Yeah.
So
if you look at the top 10 of the Forbes list, it's like 8 are like hardcore Democrats. And it's because the more complicated of a tax system, the more loopholes and the more like $0 situations you get. Join the dark side, Beans. Join the dark side.
Oh no, dude. I don't know. I can't.
Sarah's trying to end conversion therapy. We're good people. Talk about renewables.
Yep. Exactly.
Join us.
Yeah, but I do have my problems with PAC money. I don't believe politics. I don't believe politics should be some PAC. I don't believe getting involved in politics should be for the rich.
Okay. But like, Steven, should it be for unions and like Planned Parenthood type situation?
Hey, you know what, man? If you want to get rid of lobbyists, if you want to get rid of lobbyists totally, maybe there's an argument there. Maybe, but you got to consider everything there.
But it's one of those things, like everybody wants to get rid of murder. Like everybody agrees with that, but it still happens. Money in politics is one of those evils that no matter what you do, it's still going to be there.
What do you think about getting rid of
Citizens United? It's your fault, Steven. If people gave a shit and people voted, like Sarah, what was the turnout for your primary that really like decided who was a state rep? Like 5,000 votes?
Yeah.
Or, like, what was the percentage though? Like 15, 20?
Yeah, I don't remember. It was higher, but I also represented an older population. So most of my demographic was like 65 plus. So like those are your strong voters. So it was higher. I honestly don't remember though. That's kind of embarrassing.
No worries. But like in Illinois, so I was in Illinois and I was in Dallas recently. In their midterm, it was like 11%, 9% turnout.
Yeah.
So people don't vote. They don't read laws. So like, give a shit. Then we won't need lobbyists or money in politics.
The biggest voting party is a non-voter.
By far, they win every election.
Yep.
Yeah.
Scary thought to think about, y'all. Oh gosh. Let's see. Last topic we were going to talk about here. Anything else, guys? We're getting close here. We're about 20.
Okay. I never finished answering your question about.
You were talking about your current job.
Yes, current job. Sorry.
No, because I like Illinois and we're losing people, so it's like, yeah.
But yeah, so I'm here doing local government work. So I help facilitate the programs for the treasurer's office in the different field offices around the state, which is really awesome. One of the things we do is unclaimed property, and so there's actually about $3 billion of unclaimed property in the state of West Virginia, and so that's like bank accounts / checks, safety deposit boxes. So part of my job is helping people get their money. So that's kind of cool. Something cool to do.
Sounds like
hopefully us too. Hopefully we can get a little bit of that $3 billion.
I was going to say that sounds like the best job in politics, if you ask me.
No, but Sarah, you just started, right? You said you started last Tuesday.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
so you are dealing with a lot of money, and there has been situations like Bill de Blasio's wife who blew $900 million. So I hopefully can we just have your commitment that you aren't gonna do anything sketchy? Yeah.
I won't your money at all. So my
Yeah.
job's more to interact with the public, which is something I'm really excited for. It's kind of a unique position because I do have to understand the programs, but then I'm also the face in some senses of the office and actually talking. So it's very similar to what it was like serving in office. Like I'm going to community events and, talking to people and explaining to them how our programs work. So I won't actually be around any of the money. So you got to promise me.
Oh, good. And if you're in West Virginia, get that money.
Honestly,
that's a lot of money. $3 billion.
I'm a little bummed out because I kind of figured it would be like, you turn something into the police station. Someone doesn't come get it, 30 days is yours.
No, yeah, Sarah, I actually was in West Virginia last year driving, and I dropped $10,000. So,
yeah, you see $10,000 in
Yeah,
cash.
if you want to Venmo me, just drop it.
That's me right here.
It might not be on the books, but trust me. Yeah, we'll have you on the show. But yeah, no, thank you so much for running, because that's run if you're watching.
Last question. I got a weird one here. What is probably the weirdest unclaimed property you've heard of or had to deal with starting since Tuesday?
No, I couldn't tell you. I really haven't. I haven't talked with anybody yet really about it. So I have a meeting. So unclaimed property is just one of the different programs. So I have a meeting with them at the end of the month. So I will ask that question when I meet with the unclaimed property team, because that's a good question. I want to.
Well, if there are any ranches or houses that were unclaimed, I dropped a few of those too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my car is kind of.
Oh, your
car.
Awesome. Well, we wish you luck and many blessings and wishes in your new job, Sarah. Thank you so much for coming on. Until next time, be sure to stay in politics. Keep your eyes on the news as much as sanity will allow you, and we will see you next week.
Like,
Peace.
subscribe, share, don't. Thank you.
Stay sane, world.
Done.